How to manage success. This is a video I've wanted to do for the longest of time now, and finally, boy, is it here. The problem with people when they achieve success is they lose their sense of proportion. Now, this is one of the worst things you can ever do as an individual, to lose your sense of proportion. What I mean by that is you downplay the luck, effort people and circumstances had to play in the actualization of that result. You foolishly depend solely on your individual efforts and coin this false narrative that you're something you're not. Unfortunately, people will respect it, people will believe you, people would reinforce that belief. You know why? Because you have results and humans gravitate towards results. That's why the illustrious of scammers know this fundamentally. It's in their blood that in order to perform a ruse, they have to give an aura, associate themselves with the trappings of wealth. Humans gravitate towards results. Take me for instance. I'm a very successful individual by all of his ramifications, God's favorite, have all the genetic disposition, have a ton of money. To sit here and say, oh, it's all my effort and it as a consequence of persistence, discipline, and all of those godly traits is hypocritical as well as hubris beyond measures. Why is this the case? Now, to sit here and say or try and discredit my own efforts would be childish and juvenile. If you follow this channel long enough, there are stories I've shared of my problems, especially in the come up phases, like the landlord issue, the one where I had to get on my knees and say, you have to kill me. There are stories of how I started my first business and the role circumstance had to play in it. For instance, I come from a two-parent household. My father had a lot of impact as touching my life and destiny. So there are traces, there are points in time where you can trace the hand of luck to your life. Let me give you an instance. At a very young age, I always knew I wanted to be successful. So instead of doing live it up 20s and spending my youthful age when I'm in my prime, partying and doing all of this degenerate stuff, I decided to start a business, try new ideas, trade, do a lot of things. So there were tons of trial and error. Basically, a heuristic approach towards life and destiny. In that moment, at the infancy of my career, I had shelter, I had my parents to shield me from the vicissitudes of life. So I afforded myself the time. Now that I'm under my parents, or now I was under my parents, you get the point. Now I'm under my parents. This is the best time to take action. They shield you from the consequence of life. Because the alternative would be you work a 9 to 5 job simultaneously with your goals, as opposed to full time your goals, full time trial and error. Now, had I been on a 9 to 5 job, perhaps it would have delayed my achievements. Notice my choice of words. Delay, not deny. I'm that kind of guy. You would have to kill me. I would rather be dead than to live the life of an average man. I truly do not understand how you humans operate. You get up in the morning, you go to a job, you come back and watch Netflix, dread going to the job the next day. My friend, there's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5 job, but as long as it's making you miserable, 10 years from now, you will be older with kids and more miserable unless you take action. Nothing changes if nothing changes. People have this foolish idea. Something would happen. I'll go to a social event and I'll meet someone. My friend, the only reason you are able to spot opportunity is because you're prepared to take one. Majority of people miss opportunities every single day unconsciously. I've shared the story of my barber, how he started from a very small kiosk. Because of the scar on my head, individuals found it very difficult to cut me without setting my hairline 41 to 2 inches back. Fortunately for this guy, in a very small kiosk, decided to try him out. He turned out very competent, and as I increased, he increased as well. It got to a point where I was flying him out, in and out of states. When I settled in a particular state, my friend, come here, I'll take care of your accommodations, set up a saloon in an upscale part in Lagos. And guess what happened? He's there. If you ask that young man, give me a logical breakdown of how you're going to leave this lowly estate. He can't. He can't respond. It's the same thing with majority of you. You hope for things to happen, yet there is no effort exerted on the universe to create your own luck. You think handing out a bunch of cards saying, I do XYZ service, please call me, is going to cut it? When was the last time you saw Elon handing out business cards? Please call me. I don't know. That's something I learned. You don't need to walk around saying, connect me, please, give me relationship, network. My friend, the only reason people would want to network with you is if you're valuable. For instance, I know how the market works and how to identify as well as take opportunities. I have a very infinite mind, able to spot business problem as well as enhance your business. I truly believe the only thing I need is to see your business plan, to see your business outlet. And after 1 hour of reviewing the raw materials, I've devised a solution to take you to the next level. Either the vision is the problem, or advertising is the problem, or the problem is the product itself. And the only reason most of you have gotten this far is because of your advertising power. The problem is not more advertising. In fact, advertising should be cut in half. Ambassadorship should be slashed in half, funnel towards making the product better. I was with this network communication provider, and I said to them, look, I guarantee you, there are shareholders seated in this room using other communication packages, and every single person nodded their head in agreement. Their face went numb at first. Because I'm not lying, it's true. Why is this the case? Your network coverage is terrible. I recall when I was in college, I moved to a new apartment. I had no network coverage. I mean, no network coverage. Yes, your data plans are cheaper. Yes, your packages are cheaper. But people would not sacrifice the access to use those packages in an exchange for a bargain. Anyways, that's a very confidential subject. If I begin to share, it will be made public. So my fans, do not cost me thousands of dollars. Alright, you like to see me lose thousands of dollars. It's fine. No, I totally get it. You want to see me lose money. But the point I'm trying to highlight, how did we get here? Anyways, success. Okay, I was talking about creating your own luck, creating your own opportunity. So creating your own opportunity. Majority of you go to seminars, majority of you attend startups convention. But in fact, you are so poor, not just in finance, in knowledge and skills, that you have nothing to offer. God positioned the next Facebook in your presence, and because you are so destitute that you have nothing, in fact, you coupled that disadvantage with pride and arrogance, further subjugating yourself. As a consequence, you miss the opportunity. All you have are pictures to say, I once met this guy, I didn't take him serious, I treated him badly, and look at him. Whereas, if you were like that barber, if you had prepared yourself, you would have been able to not just spot, but take the opportunity as well, either by investing in capital or investing your time. All right, I'm a software developer as well. Let's work on this. Codify the stock arrangement. Venture capitalists, well, technically it's not official, but I like your product. Here's X amount, give me 20%. And 3, 4, 5 years down the line, you're fucking millionaire. The majority won't understand why you're waiting for something to happen. In this kingdom, things don't happen. You make things happen. If it's to be for your profiting, you have to make it happen. The easiest thing to do in this life is to fail. Unfortunately, this world is cohabitated via wickedness. Everything in this world is disadvantaged by default. I was with a very famous model and speaking to her son, trying to create a bond. But I said to her son, whenever you go out with mommy on a vacation and you come back, say you have no cleaners, you have no chef, nobody in the house, what happens to the apartment? It's dusty, right? Exactly. If you walk out to your lawn and after 3, 4, 5 months unattended, what begins to sprout? Weed. It is unkempt. It is unpleasant. Very rarely do you go outside and see a well manicured garden. Ah, it trimmed itself and raked the remains. It's impossible. So for something good to happen in this earth, you have to make it happen. That's all it is. A majority of people would sit, agree with my points, agree that I'm intelligent, or at least be entertained enough to get to this point. Go back to Netflix. Ah, well, someday, or after 20 minutes of inspiration, they fall back to bad behaviors. In fact, you are better off not trying than trying and stopping, trying and stopping. Take one step forward, 2 steps back. I recall those days at the infancy of my career. I would do something positive, say, analyze the stock market or make trades, then go back to video games, then regret it, watch some positive content, go back to wasting time, do something positive, take a call from an 8 out of 10. Now wasted 40 to 50 minutes explaining to this bitch why I'm very busy and I can't speak to her. Women are very good at fleecing your time. Ah, so you want to leave me? It's fine. You can go. No, no, no. You know it's not like that. No, no, no. Totally, I get it. Leave me as usual. And 30 minutes later, you guys are still going back and forth. But I believe you've derived a lot of information from this video. I believe once you become successful, you would not let it get to your head. You would not lose your sense of proportion. Unfortunately, majority of people love success. However, they do not see the negativity associated with that status. Envy is a byproduct of growth. Hate is a byproduct of growth. Fake friends is a byproduct of growth. So you must be willing to deal with all of those negativity if you success you're chasing. There are people who did not know me up until now, and all of a sudden I'm being identified as proud and as arrogant. People will gang up against you. People will gang up by default. So growth, success, you must be willing to deal and ward off all of those arsenals in order to last. Success. As always, my friends, it's a pleasure speaking to you. I'll see you when in the next one.